Hey there, plant enthusiasts and farming enthusiasts. Get ready to dive into the mesmerizing world of gardening and farming with me.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to my garden. Today, we're diving into 10 genius gardening hacks that will transform your outdoor space, whether you have acres of land or a sunny windowsill. These tips are all about working smarter, not harder, in the garden. We'll explore simple solutions for healthier plants, maximizing space, and even extending your growing season. Don't be afraid to experiment and find what works best for you and your little patch of green. Are you ready to take your gardening to the next level? Whether you have a big backyard, a small balcony, or even just a window ledge, these 10 genius gardening hacks will help you create the garden of your dreams. Let's dive in. A thriving garden always starts with the soil. It's the foundation for everything, providing essential nutrients to your plants. Before you even think about putting those seeds or seedlings in the ground, we need to give them a good home. That means enriching your soil with plenty of organic matter. Think of compost as black gold for your garden. It's teeming with beneficial microorganisms that improve soil structure, drainage, and nutrient content. You can easily make your own compost at home using kitchen scraps and yard waste. For my urban gardening friends working with containers, choosing the right potting mix is crucial. Look for a lightweight, well-draining mix specifically designed for container gardening. Remember, healthy soil equals healthy plants. Your plants will thank you for it. Now let's move on to another important aspect: watering. Watering might seem straightforward, but there's a fine art to it. Overwatering can lead to root rot, while underwatering stresses your plants. The key is to water deeply and less frequently, encouraging strong root growth. One of my favorite methods is drip irrigation. This technique delivers water directly to the roots, minimizing evaporation and ensuring your plants get the hydration they need without wasting a drop. You can easily find drip irrigation kits at your local garden center. For a budget-friendly DIY solution, let's talk about recycled plastic bottles. Simply take an empty plastic bottle, poke small holes in the cap and sides, and bury it near your plants with the neck facing down. Fill it with water and voila! You have a self-watering system that slowly releases moisture to the roots. Now let's take our gardening adventures beyond our own backyards. We've talked about nurturing our own gardens, but what about spreading the joy of gardening to our communities? That's where guerrilla gardening comes in. This fun and rewarding practice involves planting in unexpected public spaces, bringing life and color to neglected areas. Once you have the green light, let your creativity bloom. You can start small by scattering wildflower seeds in a vacant lot, or brightening up a street corner with a few potted plants. Guerrilla gardening is a wonderful way to connect with your community, beautify your surroundings, and inspire others to appreciate the wonders of nature. Just imagine the smiles on people's faces when they stumble upon a vibrant patch of sunflowers or a fragrant herb garden in an otherwise ordinary space. Now, let's explore some clever techniques to maximize space and promote plant health in our gardens. Companion planting is a time-honored gardening technique that involves strategically planting different species together for mutual benefit. It's like creating a support system for your plants, helping them thrive. One of the main advantages of companion planting is pest control. Certain plants emit strong scents that naturally repel insects, protecting themselves and their neighbors. For instance, planting basil alongside your tomatoes not only enhances the flavor of your tomatoes, but also deters those pesky white flies and tomato hornworms. Another benefit of companion planting is improved pollination. Planting companion flowers like marigolds, zinnias, and nasturtiums alongside your vegetables will attract these pollinators, ensuring your plants are well fertilized. Now, let's explore some creative ways to repurpose everyday items for our gardening needs. Gardening doesn't have to be expensive. Some of the most effective tools can be found right in your own home. Let's unlock our creativity and give everyday items a second life as gardening helpers. Those empty egg cartons you're about to toss? Think again. They make perfect seed starters. Simply fill each compartment with seed starting mix, sow your seeds, and water gently. The individual compartments prevent overcrowding and make transplanting a breeze. And don't discard those old spoons and forks just yet. They're surprisingly handy for transplanting seedlings or digging small holes for planting bulbs. Glass jars like mason jars or old pasta sauce jars transform into charming mini greenhouses. By repurposing household items, we reduce waste and add a touch of charm to our gardening endeavors. Now, let's dive into another essential element of gardening: mulch. Mulch is a gardener's best friend, offering a myriad of benefits for your plants and soil. Think of it as a protective blanket that conserves moisture, suppresses weeds, and regulates soil temperature. Whether you choose organic mulch like shredded bark, straw, or compost, or opt for inorganic options like landscape fabric or gravel, the benefits are undeniable. One of the most significant advantages of mulch is its ability to conserve water. By reducing evaporation, mulch helps retain moisture in the soil, especially during those hot summer months. This means less frequent watering for you and happier, healthier plants. Mulch also acts as a natural weed barrier, preventing those pesky invaders from taking root and competing with your plants for nutrients and sunlight. Now, let's explore some space-saving techniques for those with limited gardening areas. Limited space doesn't have to limit your gardening dreams. With a little creativity, we can transform walls, fences, and even balconies into thriving vertical gardens. Vertical gardening is a fantastic way to maximize space, especially for urban dwellers or those with small yards. One of the easiest ways to create a vertical garden is by using trellises. These structures provide support for climbing plants like cucumbers, beans, and even certain varieties of tomatoes, allowing them to grow upwards instead of sprawling across the ground. Another popular option is using hanging baskets. These versatile containers are perfect for cascading flowers like petunias and trailing plants like strawberries, adding a touch of whimsy and color to your space. Embrace the possibilities of vertical gardening and unlock a world of gardening opportunities, no matter how limited your space may be. Now, let's invite some beneficial creatures into our gardens. Let's talk about welcoming beneficial insects into our gardens. These tiny creatures play a vital role in pollination, pest control, and overall garden health. One of the best ways to attract beneficial insects is by planting a diverse array of flowers. Bees, butterflies, and other pollinators are drawn to bright colors and fragrant blooms. Consider incorporating flowers like zinnias, sunflowers, and lavender into your garden to create a welcoming haven for these helpful creatures. Another effective strategy is to provide shelter and nesting sites for beneficial insects. Insect hotels, made from natural materials like bamboo tubes and drilled logs, offer a safe haven for solitary bees and other beneficial insects to lay their eggs. Now, let's bring the garden indoors with some fresh herbs. There's nothing quite like the taste of fresh herbs in your culinary creations. And what better way to ensure a steady supply than by growing your own kitchen garden? Whether you have a sunny windowsill, a small balcony, or even just a countertop, you can create a thriving herb garden that will elevate your dishes to new heights. Start by choosing herbs that you use frequently in your cooking. Basil, mint, parsley, cilantro, and chives are all excellent choices for beginner herb gardeners. These herbs are relatively easy to grow and thrive in containers. When selecting containers for your herbs, make sure they have adequate drainage holes to prevent waterlogging. Terracotta pots are a great choice as they allow the soil to breathe. Place your herb pots in a location that receives at least 6 hours of sunlight per day. Water your herbs regularly, allowing the soil to dry slightly between waterings. Now let's explore ways to extend our gardening season beyond the traditional growing months. Don't let the changing seasons put an end to your gardening fun. With a little ingenuity, we can extend our harvests and enjoy fresh produce well beyond the traditional growing months. One of the most effective ways to extend your growing season is by using a greenhouse. Greenhouses act as miniature climates, trapping heat and creating a warm, humid environment that allows you to start seeds earlier in the spring and continue growing later into the fall. If you don't have the space or budget for a full-sized greenhouse, consider using a cold frame. Cold frames are essentially miniature greenhouses that can be placed directly over your plants, providing protection from frost and extending your growing season by several weeks. Another technique for extending your harvest is to choose cold hardy crops. Leafy greens like kale and spinach, root vegetables like carrots and radishes, and even some varieties of lettuce can tolerate cooler temperatures and continue producing well into the fall. Now let's recap the 10 genius gardening hacks we've covered today. With these 10 hacks, your garden is bound to flourish. Remember, gardening is all about patience, experimentation, and enjoying the process. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out, these tips will help you create a beautiful and productive space. Don't forget to subscribe for more gardening ideas and hit the like button if you found these tips helpful. Comment below on which tip you're excited to try, and happy gardening! Subscribe and join our community for more genius gardening ideas that will transform your space, big or small.